Right, so what are some different kinds of desert landscapes? First, let's talk about what kind of landscapes are associated with mountainous regions. And so this picture is showing the surface of the land, and then you've got a cliff, and then you've got a talus slope, so debris that's coming off the cliff is making that thing. And then further down here, you see an area where a river is emptying onto the plains. As long as it's in the mountainous regions, it's moving very fast. It can carry a lot of material. But when it moves out here onto the plains, it slows down. When it slows down, it drops its load. And so that's going to make an alluvial fan. So again, out here, so this material out here, that's going to be an alluvial fan. Okay, but then you also notice that there's some structures located out here. So where did those structures come from? So you'll notice that there is a landform that looks kind of like a volcano. It has a flat top to it, but it's sedimentary. So this thing over here is composed of sedimentary layers, and then this thing over here is composed of sedimentary layers. So why would it have a flat top? Okay, this thing is going to be called a mesa. So originally, the surface of the land looked like this. Okay, but due to a river emptying out here, it started to make canyons. And then those canyons began to connect with each other. And so these things out here is all that's left of this original material. Okay, if this thing continues to erode, then it will no longer have a flat top to it, and then we're going to refer to that thing as a butte. And then as this thing continues to erode, it may eventually end up as being something looking like this, and then it's going to be a pillar. Okay, another thing that you tend to find in deserts is desert pavement. And so this is going to be in areas where sand, the supply of sand is limited. And so as the sand is blown away, all that you've got left is the pebbles. And those pebbles, they could be glued together with calcium carbonate. And then you end up with a pavement that looks like this. Okay, in areas where you do have a lot of sand, you're going to have sand dunes. And normally when you think of sand dunes, you think of the Sahara, where you've got these rolling hills of sand. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. So the kind of sand dune that you end up with is going to depend on how strong is the wind. It's also going to depend on what direction is the wind blowing in. It's also going to depend on, is that direction that the wind is blowing in, is it constant, meaning that the wind could be blowing this way for a few days, but then it changes direction, and then the wind blows this way for a few days. And it also depends on the amount of sand that you have to work with. So those three factors are going to determine what kind of sand dune do you end up with. And so I'm going to let you read about these different kinds of sand dunes. And in the caption, it talks about how much sand is available, what's the direction of the wind, is the wind direction variable, and then what's the speed of the wind. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the damage that deserts can do.